So today we are talking about there is a concept is called as an integrity constraints concept. So firstly, we must understand that what exactly an integrity constraint is. Yeah, structured query language. There are constraints or nothing but conditions are used to specify the certain rules on top of the table, on top of the each record. So these constraints are used to limit the of a data that can be go into the table. Okay. Yeah. This ensures that accuracy and reliability of the data in the table. If you follow the integrity constraints, the accuracy and reliability of the data in the table will be more. If there is any violation between the constraint and the data, the action will be simply aborted or maybe discarded. The constraints will be applied on the column level or maybe a table level. And column level constraints apply to the column, and table level constraints will be applied to the whole table. Let us see how exactly this particular Mysql constraints are going to be applied at the column level as well as the table level. Okay. So there will be following are the types of the constraints we have. Not null constraint. What does it mean? This not null is the keyword which is derived from the structured query language, which will be ensures a column cannot be have a null value. It should have some value. It should not be a null value. Like something called as you wanted to enter your name, but rather than entering the name, simply if you keep a blank, it doesn't acceptable. Yes, right. Yeah, that's called as, not null will be ensure about it. Unique is the a particular integrity constraint which will be ensured that all the values in a column are different from each other. No two values will be the same. That is going to be treated as a duplicate value. That duplicate values are not allowed to be inserted. Okay. Now there will be a primary key column which will be uniquely identifies each row in a table. Every particular table in a MySQL should have a primary key column. That's not alternate, it's a compulsory. A foreign key. If two tables are going to be join each other, to make one table as a parent table, to make another table as a derived table, that relationship is going to be possible with the help of by making the foreign key as the integrity constraints. So I'll demonstrate everything in terms of the hands-on. You just try to understand it. And check constraint. Check is the constraint which ensures that the values in a column satisfies a specific conditions. Let's suppose age of a person should not be above 120. If somebody is trying to give 130 as the age of the person, the check constraint is tell you that you are violating the rule. There are certain cases where we'll use the check constraints. Okay. Default sets a default value for a particular column if no value will be specified by the end user. Okay. Let us go one by one. What do you mean by not null? Right. So not null in the SQL ensures that probably an ID column should not be a not null. Last name column, first name columns will not be accept any null values when the person's table is created. Let us suppose, I'm just trying to create, there is a one particular in e-commerce application. In e-commerce application, I'm trying to create a table, which is the table name is a person's table, where the ID of the person, like which is a member ID, will be a not null, which means that you have to give. Otherwise, it will be throws an error to you. Last name will be a var character, first name will be the not null, and age will be an integer type. So firstly, I think we can create a table, and simply unique is the other one. Like, I request everyone, please, we can parallelly execute all these. There will be unique. You see now here, if you look at, there will be ID will be unique. See, not null is nothing but a value has to be given, but unique is nothing but, every value should be unique enough, different from each other. So Not null and unique will be created as a primary key, basically. Clear? So this is the one kind of a particular integrity constraint with which we can able to create a unique constraint. So absolutely we can able to create like this also. Like, this is the one way, and also we can able to create this is as another way, isn't it? So both ID and last name can be created at a time as a constraint on the like persons table as a unique constraint. Like, more than one column can be created as a unique. In similar way, in similar way, the primary key column, like, primary key column is nothing but both not null and unique combinedly. We can call it as, primary key column has to be provided. So absolutely you can see over here in last classes we have created the table, we haven't implemented about the primary key concept. My first request to you is that firstly now you create this particular table in a MySQL, that the table name is the persons, ID is an integer type, that should be a not null constraint, last name first name are the last name should be not null, first name can be it can be a null, and age should be an integer, and absolutely ID should be a primary key column. So I already told you that not null and unique will be combinedly call it as a primary key column. So I request everyone, firstly, everyone should go to the MySQL. I hope everybody have installed the, what is called MySQL, right? Please, can you confirm everybody in chat box? Is there anybody not yet installed the MySQL software? I think somebody might have installed what is called a workbench. Somebody might have installed the command line over here. So MySQL and obviously system.cls to clean the screen. I just wanted to be increase the size of the, like, yes, greater now. Yeah. So I request, everybody that, uh, so so this is the table. I think everybody should able to. Uh, yeah. So now we would like to create like already there will be a database which is you supposed to go with a use got underscore db2, because we wanted to create all this table in the same database. Like, if you use this particular command called use underscore got underscore db2, you will be switched to the current database called go online training underscore db2 database. Now what I'm asking you, you have to create, there is a table is called as a create, there will be the table is called, there is a table name called as, persons. Yeah. So persons. So I request, everybody should be create a table in the database, and you are trying to insert the data from the Python front end. Please, can you make sure everybody, I'm requesting everybody that, please you make sure that the create a table here and insert the data from the front end Python, so that that will be violates the particular rule that whenever you are not giving a primary key properly. So I want that everybody should understand what errors will be thrown over there. Please make sure about it. I'll be back within 2 minutes. I hope you have created the table, right? It's the one particular integer type. You should apply.
Yes, sir. Your voice is not audible properly.
Uh, very, very low, sir.
Last name should now the characters. I hope now audible for you.
Very, very low, sir. Low voice.
But now audible.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Okay, and it should be, I'm just expecting that even last name is also be a not null. And first name, var character, which will be a 50 characters, and absolutely, and age will be integer type. Yeah, and absolutely, I just wanted to be declared primary key as ID. So absolutely, there will be queries perfectly executed, which means the table is created. Let us see what is the schema of the table. Describe is the one particular thing where exactly it will be, show you that, table name that, persons. What is a table name? Person, not persons, person. Yeah, right. So if you look at absolutely the table is created. So I'm asking you to insert the data from the front end. You have to follow from the front end, isn't it? So that, obviously here you will be able to see that the ID is the column, which is an integer type, and it should be having a primary key column and not null too, isn't it? And no means what? Not null. And last name is also with not null, but it is not a primary key column. And first name can be a null, it can be default null. Absolutely, age is an integer type, it can be have a null values. So this is how this particular schema of the table will show you what are the constraints you have applied on top of the a particular table. Yes or no? Yeah, let us go with the front end part. Let's go with the front end part, which means that I'll be go with the PyCharm. I'll be go with the PyCharm. Like yeah, open the right. So we are here in database where there will be a directory called as a database I have created. I think a lot of things we have created. Now there will be a subfolder I'll be going to create. There will be a subfolder, subdirectory, which is that, integrity constraints. Integrity constraints. So within these integrity constraints, I'm going to insert, there is a file like, insert data into person table. Yeah. So now I just, I just wanted to be same like import, obviously MySQL dot connector, and obviously I'm just writing a query now. What is the query I'm writing here? I'm writing there is a query I'm writing, which is, insert into, yeah, so which is going to be the person within which where, is supposed to be entered. What is the first thing? The first thing is that, the first thing is that is supposed to have an ID, which is probably 101 will be the ID of a particular person. And the schema will be a last name, right? The next is the last name. The last name will be obviously, there will be a Naik, and the first name should be Venkat. And the what is the next thing? ID, first name, last name, and age will be the 40, the age of a particular person. So this is the query I just wanted to be apply on top of the table, like, okay. Right. So now next is that we're supposed to be create a connection where MySQL dot connector dot connect is the a particular method where host is equal to localhost, and absolutely the user is going to be the Venkat for my system, for my database, and the password will be is going to be the MySQL for my system. For you it is a root comma database. We wanted to be work on, on top of that, what is called a got underscore db2. Yeah, this is the database. Okay. The next is that we wanted to be create a cursor and we want to execute the query. Then absolutely I just wanted to be commit, and then I just wanted to prompt that, print statement that, data is successfully inserted. And absolutely, this is how I just want it to be. Now, firstly, you just execute once. Yeah, there will be an error which occurred where somewhere I made a mistake, syntactical mistake, which is, I think, see the, what is that
Sir,
Venkat?
values,
What kind of an error I made?
query.
Person values. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, values. Correct. So data is successfully inserted into the respective table. Just go back to the database and check. Now, absolutely, just try, let me clear the screen. System.cls. And just, I just wanted to select a star from
persons.
person. So there is a record has been inserted in it. The problem is, what? Yeah. The problem here is that the ID is the column which will be, I have kept it as, what? It's a primary key column, right? Primary key column means if I don't give any value, simply if I trying to execute, it will be throws an error. Otherwise, if I give a duplicate value, it will be throws an error to you. Let us see now. I'll be go back. Here, I'll be give the same 101, but I'll change the name of the person as, Manish, and the first name will be Midday, and the age will be 5. See, what is the value I'm trying to insert here? The violation of the rule I'm doing here. 101 is already inserted, already it is there, which means that there is a person who is having an ID is there in e-commerce application where the customer ID. But I have changed the name of the person, names and age and everything. But here, same duplicate value I'm trying to insert. What is an error is going to thrown to you? You see now. I'm executing it now. Yeah. So I hope you are seeing my screen that exactly that, yeah, there is an error which is thrown to you. The duplicate entry 101 is for the key is called as a primary key column. If we don't create a table with a primary key constraint, this kind of rules constraints doesn't take care, which means what? It is the helping us and it is maintaining integrity constraints or which is a unity. If somebody is trying to create a same duplicate ID, like, passport number, there will be already existing a passport number. The another person will keep another same passport number and will be fly away to other country. That's how the things would happen. So during migration, it will be catch hold that. So this kind of constraints will be applied with the help of there will be a primary key constraint. I think everybody is understand that whenever I am trying to violate the rule, it will be throws an error to you. And simultaneously, what I'll do, last name, I don't give anymore. Last name, I don't give anymore. You see what happens? I just given the 3 names. You see what happens now? Yeah. So column count doesn't match the value count at a row 1. Isn't it? Otherwise, I'm just trying to give 0. You see now? Here you change the another person like 102. Okay. So the name of the ID has been changed. Data has been successfully. Even 0 is also going to be, going to be treated as, what? It's a character. Probably it is a numerical value. It is going to be treated as a character, isn't it? And if I don't give, what happens? You see, let's suppose I'm trying to create a 103 where I'm going to change. There is a Kalwa and 50. Let's see the what happens. You see, yeah. So the column count is not matching. So which means what, not null we have imported, right? So therefore it is trying to ask us, to maintain the number of column values is supposed to be given. So if I trying to give absolutely, Chandrasekhar, Ramarao. So here within the double quotation, we shouldn't give the same double quotation. Therefore, it is a throwing an error to you. Please you try to keep within the single quotation. Now, absolutely, it will be insert the third row also. The data will be successfully inserted. So if you look at now, the same all data might be inserted over here. Like 101, 102, 103, like this.
Sir, I have a question. So last name we have taken varchar the numbers, and it should not be not null. And how can we have given this 0, which is an integer value?
See, varchar means, even 0, all these will be comes under characters only. Let's suppose the phone number, right? See,
Yeah.
the problem is, if the value will be go beyond 5 characters, everything will be treated as characters as per the programming is concerned. Var is nothing but variable characters. It's not only
Okay.
the characters, even numerical values, special characters also comes into that. Let's suppose a email ID. email ID consisting numerical values, special characters, numerical values, all these, right? So everything will be treated as, it is a string. Varchar is nothing but variable characters, even including numerical values also. If you have only integer type, you have to specify the integer type. Yeah, it is a date type, we'll be having a date type.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are data types actually. And if you look at, let's
Yeah.
just show. See, SQL is a separate programming language. It's not a Python. So if you go
Yeah.
here, data types in MySQL. You see, these are the data types. Character, fixed length characters up to 250 characters. Varchar means variable length characters. Binary means obviously, equal to each character. Variable binary, tiny blob, to images to be uploaded, then we'll go with a tiny blob. If you wanted to be maximum text to be entered, then we'll go with a tiny text. The text blob is for the images which will be stored. The size will be up to 6,000, like 65,535 bytes of data. Like, there will be data types actually when set, enum, isn't it? Like, numerical data types, absolutely you can see bit, boolean, and a small int, medium int, integer, like, even if you go with some other things, date. If you want to store the date, then we can declare the data type as a date. Like YYMMDD, this is the format by default, it will be followed. If you want a timestamp, like date and times to be stored, then we can go with this particular date time will be one particular timestamp to be declared. Even though time can be only declared, year can be declared, like that. These are the data types will be there, just like C, C++, Java. But Python doesn't deals with the data types concept because it's a runtime dynamic language. Yeah, yeah,
Yes. Okay, sir.
yes, 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 yeah. So now I hope everybody have executed and confirmed that whatever the integrity constraints is followed. I think you might have observed, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So similarly, what is supposed to do here is that let's you try to be check with. Let's try to be not null we have seen now, and unique constraint also. Like, if you wanted to be create one particular table as a unique, so here if you look at, I haven't created any kind of a primary key column, but I just given what only, unique ID. It's just you try to be, you can create a sample table with a unique, you just what I'll do here is that I'll be just create another table. Like, what is the table name? Create, just hold on. So create table sample, where exactly you can able to create ID, integer, and what is called it is unique, isn't it? Otherwise, just you try to be create the table and try to be understand accordingly. The table is created. What I'm trying to create is that no, I'm trying to insert the value now. Insert into there is a sample is the data table where the values I wanted to insert the value called, what, probably 401. Okay, it is inserted. Now select a star from sample. So only 401. My point is, now if I insert another time the same particular value, what error it will be thrown, you see now? Yeah, There is an error is throwing to you. Now, what is an error? Duplicate entry 4 key is, trying to enter because you have created already this particular ID as a unique. This is how, this is how unique constraint is going to be check where exactly if you violate the rule. This is called integrity constraint. So unique is a one particular constraint where it will be followed. A particular column shouldn't be allow any duplicate values. So I already told you that not null, not null, not null, and unique both will be combinedly call it as a primary key column. It doesn't allow the null values and it doesn't allow the duplicate values. Therefore, it will be a primary key column. This is all. Are you clear? So please, can you check the unique is followed or not? So whatever the practice I'm doing, please kindly you also please do that and try to verify. I hope everybody is completed, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I'm just demonstrating about the foreign key. Like, let's go with a, let's talk about a foreign key. Just hold on. Primary key is done, foreign key. See, if you look at the foreign key, I already told you that the foreign key is required in order to join two tables as a parent and child table relationship. Like, for example, if there is a department existing, obviously the employee is going to be exist. Yes or no? If department doesn't exist, employee might not be there. So what I'm trying to create here is that, I'm just, if you look at, yeah, here I just created person's table, right? So what is the person table says? A person is assigned with one ID, which is a customer ID. Last name, first name, and age will be the four columns we have taken. Similarly, there will be another table I just wanted to take the orders. Like, through e-commerce applications, if you give an order, like if you buy a particular product, then what happens here exactly? You see now, what happens here? Absolutely, here, the person's ID will be the primary key column here. Whatever the primary key column in the parent table would become the foreign key in the child table. The person's ID is going to become a foreign key in the child table. The person ID will be the parent key, primary key in the table. Otherwise, what happens? If you wanted to give an order, if you want to buy a product, first of all, the person should be exist, right? So if the person doesn't exist, the order will not be takes place. That's how the parent, this is the parent table, this is the child table. So in order to join these two particular tables relationally as a parent and child table or base table or sub table, then we go with a foreign key column. How exactly the foreign key column is going to be created? If you look at the next syntax, yeah, if you look at now, already you have to have these two tables. Then only that's possible for the create a child table, right? So now what I'm doing here, so I'm just trying to create a table, which is an orders table, where an order ID will be a not null, order number is not null, person ID is the foreign key here. You see here, This is the orders table is different, persons table is different. What I'm doing here, primary key in the orders table, order ID will be the primary key. But if you want to make the person ID as a foreign key, the reference called as a person's table person ID, I'm trying to make it as a foreign key here. You see, this is the syntax to create a foreign key. Yes or no? So if we create first, orders ID, like if we create a firstly, orders table, so that you will get to know exactly, let's quickly you create this particular table. What is that particular table? This order table, because already person table is there, right? So what are the values you have existing in the persons table? I think we know select star from person, right? Yeah, if you see here 101, 102, 103, there are the three customers are existing in the e-commerce application. Now we have to create, there is a table is called, what, like order table. What exactly I'm doing here? I'm creating order table, like, create table orders where order ID, integer type, and not null, and order number, integer type, not null, and person ID, person ID. What is that? In the previous column, there will be the column ID will be, or else we can create a, yes, person ID as otherwise, person ID as an integer. Here in the table, person ID, I wanted to make it as a foreign key. Okay. The next is that primary key within the bracket, we can able to keep, order ID. I'm just trying to make order ID as a primary key in this particular table. And now foreign FOREIGN key, foreign key. I wanted to make the person ID as the foreign key. References the person is the table where the in persons table their ID will be the column. In persons table there will be ID is the column. I am making it as a, that primary key will be the foreign key into the orders ID. So that's all. So the table is created. Now there are two tables are existing. One is the person table, one is the orders table. What I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to insert the value over here. So I'm trying to insert the value. So into the orders, like, insert into values, insert into order. There is a table name orders where I'm trying to insert the values. What values I'm trying to insert? Firstly, order ID should be unique. Probably order ID is 1. Order number might be probably, it will be allocate accordingly, like, 5. Okay. And a person ID should be existing. What I'm trying to do, 101 Nayak is existing, so that I'll be giving 101. Okay. And obviously, okay, that's all. Now I'm trying to execute. You see, the data is inserted. Select star from orders. Now you see order ID is ordered successfully. Now again I'm trying to insert the other person. Where exactly that 101 is not existing. There is a order ID can be 2, and he is ordering the 10 items, and the order ID can be a 2, and number of items he is giving a 10, then I'm trying to give there is an ID, the or like person ID is not existing, 105. If you look at, here, 105 is not existing into this. Are you seeing, guys? I hope you are seeing 101 is existing, 102 is existing, 103 is existing. But I'm
Yes,
trying
sir.
to give an order whose ID is 505 does not exist. But how can you give an order? That's a violation of rule, right? So then you see what happens. Now there is an error is going to be thrown to you. What is an error? If you maximize and see, an error is that, you see, cannot add or update a child row foreign key constraint failed. Isn't it? This is an error because that 105 is not existing. If I change the same query, you see now 103, which 103 is Ramarao. He is the second order and is giving 10 time orders and 103. You see, absolutely the data is inserted successfully. Now you see this second order, which is order 10 items, and the person is 103 is already existed. The only problem is if the person does not exist, but you are trying to be now, person will be a parent table and orders will be the child table. If you want to give an order, person should exist, right? So that's how, the person ID will be the primary key in the parent table. The same person ID is going to become a foreign key in the child table. Is that clear, everyone, guys? Please, you just try to be practice accordingly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, these are all, if you are designing a database, it's a matter actually. So because, if the people who are working for a Power BI, if the person who is doing a DAX in the Power BI data analysis concept, so these are all important things to be specified. That's the reason I'm just dealing with this. Yeah. So rest of the check constraints, all this, if you look at the drive, I just specified many things in the drive. Please, you go through once. You can find a lot of assignments, like, I'll just show you that ours is the AML and chapter 1, there will be MySQL, where if you go to the projects, I think a lot of projects I have included here, and as well, assignments I have included here. So today we are talking about MySQL integrity constraint, right? Please open this particular file and you will find a lot of examples I have created. You see, not null constraint, null constraint, unique constraint, inserting a table and check whether it is not null is working or not. And what is a unique constraint? What is a primary key constraint? What is the foreign key constraint? Like, all these I have given a sample example. Please, you try to be execute and try to be get to know. Like, similarly, there will be a check constraints also I have created. You open this file and try to be practice check constraints, how the price of the thing can be should be in between, and all these check constraints are useful for you. Please, you try to be execute default everything. Auto increment, how exactly the values are going to be auto incremented, also given to you, right? So please, these are the assignments. You please complete it so that tomorrow I'll be talk about something else. Group by classes, maybe joins concepts, other concept aggregate functions I'm going to talk about, isn't it? Yes. So do you have any questions, guys? I think every day you are following the things. Please make
Hi,
sure you
sir.
will read. Yeah.
Sir, I have doubt on not null and unique. So, can we use both at a time for the column, sir? I mean, for the
If you
like
want to
ID
be include both at a time, then primary key is the only constraint. Primary key is the constraint which includes not null as well as a unique.
unique. Okay.
Otherwise, you have to use unique each one at a time. We should not use two. If you want to
So
use
if
two
you
constraints at a time, go for a primary key column.
okay, sir. If I use only one, either these are like either one like not null or unique, it won't be primary key, sir. Then
At a
if I
time, we
use
don't
any one.
use actually. At a time, we don't use in generally as per my knowledge. You can use that, there is no constraint. But if primary key constraint is able to provide you the facility that doesn't allow duplicate value, that doesn't allow the null value, then you can go with the primary key. Why will we use the both? Right?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Aruna.